Hey everyone, and welcome to the penultimate place to get your Hollywood news and TV and movie reviews. Oh, it's been a while since I've done this one. This is episode 73 of the Cross Media Show, and today's topic is, it's finally here, the death of the SSU. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast service, feel free to give us a good rating on that platform. It helps us with the algorithms and helps us grow our audience. If you're watching this on Twitch and have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, so we would love it if you use your free Prime sub on us. If you're watching this on YouTube, consider dropping a like and a sub, and please do not forget to hit that bell to get notifications for when we go live with all of our shows, like the Marvel Mondays Initiative, the Penultimate Game Show, and Anime Nation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruben, the director of this channel, and today I am joined by the Marvel father, Eric. Again, how are we doing?
Hey, buddy, it's been a second.
Should have said the marvelous father. That would have been
The
better.
marvelous, that works out well. I'm doing good. It's good to finally be back doing something. It's been a hot second since I've done that.
I think it's been a hot second for everybody.
It's been a hot second for everybody. It's okay. Life goes that way. I'm doing good, Ruben. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Just turned 31 last
You just
week.
turned 31. You're ancient. Ancient. Those bones when you get out of the bed are rattling and creaking, and sooner or later you'll sneeze and you'll have a herniated disc. Welcome.
I got out of the truck for work this week one day, and my ankle started hurting.
Yeah, I always thought it would be like a gradual thing. No, I just woke up one day when I was like 32, and I was like, "Oh, my bones are gonna hurt every day I wake up from the rest of my life." I guess
it really
like
sucks.
it started happening one day suddenly.
Yeah.
Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to your 30s.
Thanks. It's gonna be a fun time. I can almost tell. That other voice that you heard is our JRPG guru, John Smith. John, how are we doing? No, John Rivera. I don't know why I said John Smith.
John Smith, the most white name.
Yep. Nope, never been in a Pocahontas movie. I'm in a very good mood. Very, very good time. Good year for John Rivera.
Yeah.
Last night I got out of the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie.
Okay.
Basically the movie I've been waiting since I was 10 years old for. It's kind of insane.
Okay, so that's a good thing. It was good.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if this sounds like a compliment, but it does for Sonic fans what Wicked did for Wicked fans. I will say that.
Then yeah, okay, that's the greatest compliment it could probably get.
Holding space for Knuckles and Tails.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't have any housekeeping. I do have a little bit of I guess Hollywood news if you want to get into it before we get into the main story. The Superman trailer came out this week.
It did.
I want to hear Eric's thoughts because Eric seems to be highly high on this movie.
On
the trailer.
Yeah, so the trailer's really good. So obviously, it has been a long time since there's been a overall well-received Superman movie. That would be 1981 Superman 2. I'm trying to think I think it was 81 was Superman 2. But no, obviously, like going into this, James Gunn, we knew this was going to be like their first big one because Superman is just so important.
Yep.
And they released that video poster that they had, and that got me. Oh my god, it was like that. It was like the slowed down version of John Williams' score, and so everyone was excited for this movie. And then I honestly did not expect it to be just like hey, we're putting you just right in the middle of it. There's no build up or anything. There's no like, hey, here's him talking about Krypton. Hey, here's him having a long conversation with Jonathan Kent. No, it's just like, no, here's him being Superman, which like everyone kind of wants. I thought it was really good. They said the other day that it is the 5th highest watched trailer in 24 hours, which is a big deal. Like, kind of DC Studios kind of needs that. I think it was like 250 million. But no, it's really good. Like, I don't want to turn this into, because you already see it all over the internet. Like, oh, but Zack Snyder, shut up, just stop talking, stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is a different one right here. Um, James Gunn gets Superman just with these 2 minutes, like just him saving people, him just trying to do the right thing. It's like that's what it should be right there. It just made me very emotional because world needs a good Superman movie. World needs a good, especially right now. We need a good Superman movie, and I'm very ready for this.
So the trailer on DC's YouTube page has 30 million views in 2 days. And then
Yeah.
there's Warner Brother Pictures that has less than 1 million.
Well, I think it's just across everything. It was, I think, 250 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so it looks good. I think it's one of the good times where, like, in this one, you can see a clear difference where it's like, hey, I can see why people can believe, like, whoa, Clark Kent? No, there's no way he's Superman. That guy doesn't. Whereas Henry Cavill, he walks up, that's Superman. Yep, look at him. Look how handsome that man is right there. Look how square jawed that is Superman right there.
Yeah.
So like this one, it's like, what is that dorky? No. Oh wow, he's Superman. Wow.
Who knew?
Who knew? But I'm very excited. I'm very excited for a new Superman movie.
Good. John, what did you think about the Superman trailer?
So for the longest time, I never really got Superman, and part of that was just like my first exposure to Superman was Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh movie. Just because I would see him in like clips of Justice League, but I never caught the Justice League TV show cartoon as a kid very often. The Superman Bruce Timm tie-in to the Batman cartoon, I didn't really catch too much of. So I just didn't really get a lot of chance to understand Superman until like within the past couple years, well, past decade with the Snyderverse Superman stuff. People would be posting comic panels and be like, "No, this is Superman," of just this really chill guy, just like helping kids across the street, taking cats out of trees. And I was like, why isn't he in the Man of Steel like style movies doing these kinds of things? Like now I get Superman, and my girlfriend and I really got into I think it's My Life with Superman on HBO, the current animated show, and I'm like just really starting to get it. So watching this trailer, me and her watched it together, and we kind of started tearing up at the end because we're like, this is the Superman that people keep telling me about that I haven't actually seen in like cartoons or movies or video games by now. So I'm really excited to just see nice guy Superman, because I know a lot of people bring up stuff like how do you make Superman interesting, and the interesting part comes from what does one guy who can do anything do when he can hear every problem that's going on in the world, but he can only be at one place at one time, and he can only solve one problem at a time, because as strong as he is, he's just one guy. That you can make a story out of that.
Yeah.
And then adding to it, I love James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, and I've seen a couple of his movies before Guardians where he was like really edgy, violent, gory for the sake of gore. Just I can get away with everything. Let's see how far I can push the envelope. And just seeing how over time he's never like gotten away with that. Like you clearly see that he still loves that style of violence and gore for as a fun storytelling aspect, but seeing how he's just developed this sense of sincerity and how all of his characters have like a heart to them, and I get really into his movies more so when they are about joy and family and connection, in addition to the look at this random comic book character that's been in like 5 comics from the 70s that I found, and wouldn't it be funny if this guy exploded and his guts went everywhere. He weirdly ties all of these different threads together pretty well nowadays.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
His Superman take after that.
For me, I am most excited for this movie just because like every Superman movie we've ever gotten is like, oh, he's the first, I guess, superhero. And then we get the well, for the Snyderverse, we get the introduction to Wonder Woman, and then we get the introduction to Batman. This, with the amount of heroes in this trailer alone. I'm excited to see just how this DC universe goes, you know. But the most important part of this trailer was Crypto. I was excited to see Crypto finally, you know. It's good to see that the person, what John said, that everybody thinks Superman is invincible, and then the first shot we see of this trailer is him just hitting the ground
Got
and
his
calling,
ass whooped.
and calling
In a
Crypto for
bunch of
help.
like anime Facebook pages, people were like, "Oh no, Superman's got the Yamcha pose. He might not make it." Just like curled up in the fetal position.
That was
It's-
good. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
There's like this thing where when you're younger, Superman, like when you're in your teens and stuff, early 20s, Superman, you can't really connect to Superman because you want to be the edgier guy. You want to be like I only read Batman stuff. I only read Daredevil stuff. Venom, yeah, it's all a bit about my edge lord days.
Oh, we're gonna be talking about Venom soon enough.
And then you grow up a little bit more and you see like, whoa, Superman is. There's a reason why he's the most like beloved. There's a reason why he's the OG is because of stuff like this. And so, the good part, like the counterpoint, my hair. That looks even worse now. Great. The counterpoint to like John, what's interesting with John's stuff is that like I grew up with the Justice League cartoon. I grew up with I remember I used to have a tape of like the 1940s Superman cartoon. I don't know if you've ever like seen it pop up on like the one where he's like punching away at like a laser as he's flying up. I had a tape of that as a kid and I wore it out by how much I watched it. And like Superman was one of those where I watched for a long time. And of course, like growing up, being a teenager in the early 2000s, you watched episodes of Smallville, you know. So like Superman has been not as big in my life as like if he on the top three for me, you know, Spider-Man, Batman, then number 3 would be Superman. But it's just like it's nice to have, and no discredit to like Man of Steel and all that stuff. I do think Man of Steel is a good movie. I do think it is probably the best of all the DC EU movies. But that one, it's nice to have some color in this one. It's not, and again, like it's not Henry Cavill's fault. That's the script he was given.
Right.
I thought Henry Cavill is a great Superman. That's why people still talk about it because Henry Cavill was a really good Superman.
Yep.
But like I'm excited to see a Superman that helps somebody across the street. I'm excited to see one that, hey, my cat's stuck in the tree. Can you help him? All the while, you know, doing super. And like I think I saw on the thing where he's going to be 25. I think in this one, so I think he's just starting out. But I'm ready for it. I'm just ready for a new Superman movie, really bad. So. And he did such a good job of making you want to punch Guy Gardner in the face like immediately. He's got like that smug look where it's like, oh god, freaking Lantern. So I just it's so. This movie is going to be, and it's wild because like next year we're getting, you know, a Fantastic Four movie, we're getting a new Captain America movie, but I think like the Superman movie is going to be the most anticipated comic book movie next year easily.
I mean, let's hope.
So it is. I'll get more on this later. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's been interesting, Ruben, because I have been out of. It's wild because considering we made a show about it a few years ago, but like I've been so out of comic books lately, like for the past year and a half.
Okay.
I kid you not, the last Marvel movie I saw that was brand new was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Like that's what I'm telling you how far out of the game I've been. So, Superman is kind of bringing me back in a little bit because it was just like it was job and stuff and time. That's the big thing. You don't have time when you have a kid. You don't have the time to do all the stuff that you want to do. So now that I have more time, I'm very excited to get back into it. I'm excited to, see. I haven't seen Guardians 3 yet. Like that's how far I've been out of it. So I'm very excited. Like I didn't see Loki.
Man, like
I didn't see Loki season 2. Like I'm ready to get back into it. So Superman is kind of doing that right now for me.
Well, that's good.
I could talk about this Spider-Man stuff all day.
All right. Well, I'm glad you said that. I guess it's time for topic of the show. I am pulling a headline from the Wrap. As Craven hunts for audience, Sony's Marvel Universe takes final bow for now. Listen, I just want to start off by saying nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted a Sony Spider-Man universe. Let me rephrase. People wanted a Sony Spider-Man universe, but for them to actually want it, they wanted Spider-Man to be in this universe. Yeah. Like that's you have to have the main character. You can't call it a Spider-Man universe if there's no Spider-Man in here. And for them to have 3 Venom movies, oh God, I fucking hate those Venom movies so much. I can't. I don't understand. Eric, I can't hear you. Nope, muted. Nope.
Nope, still can't hear you. Nope.
No good.
Oh, technical difficulties. Nope, still can't hear.
Well, try unplugging it, Eric. See if that works. Yeah, no problem. I will continue. I forgot where. I don't know who wanted 3 movies of a Tom Hardy Venom. Like nobody wanted.
I feel like we're going in the wrong direction because like the first 2 movies did make a lot of money.
I understand the first movie making a lot of money because it was brand new and it was cool and
people
edgy.
just wanted another movie with Venom in it, and they were like, I guess Venom without Spider-Man, I'll see that, fine, whatever.
The second movie has no right to be anything. There we go.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
The second Venom movie is just completely, honestly, very garbage. It's just garbage.
It's not good.
It's not good.
So the reason why I'm on this podcast is from day negative 300, whatever, when they first teased this idea as a concept after Spider-Man popped up in Civil War, I was against this. I was like, nobody wants this. Nobody wants a series of villains movies minus Spider-Man. And B, even if people were to see any of these movies, you do not have enough villains with the amount of caliber to warrant this outside of Venom, who Marvel has kind of force-fed into turning into a anti-hero because he's too cool and marketable. But I don't know how they thought Morbius, of all things, was going to be a follow-up to Venom as the as a iconic Spider-Man villain that could carry his own film. It's like, of all the things, like, you could arguably figure out something with like a new Doc Ock or maybe even Vulture.
Yep.
But like Morbius was not, and it was just the wrong, like, Venom was like a wobbly but balanced left step, and then you're like, all right, I got to take a second step, and then they just fell flat on their face with Morbius, and they're like, no, I still got this, and they're just trying to get up with Madam Web and just fall again, and they're like, no, I can do this, and they kind of stand up a little bit with Venom: The Last Stance, and they're like, okay, I almost got this, and they're like Kraven, and then they just like fall flat on their face, and then just never get up again. That's these 5 movies.
So I will say the thing for Morbius, those trailers really got me very invested because it felt like I was Charlie Day in that meme where he's trying to connect all the dots. That was me. And I'm so glad that I didn't waste my time watching Morbius because everybody said, yeah, it doesn't No.
You didn't see Morbius?
I didn't see Morbius. I didn't see any of
You
these
need it.
movies after. I saw Venom 1 and I saw Venom 2. That was it.
Did
You need to see Morbius.
I can't.
Ruben.
I
It is.
can't.
You
In
have
good
to
faith. I can't.
like get trashed one night
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
then
what
watch
me and
it.
my girlfriend, me and Emily, we just
It's worth, like, I would say this. It's worth a watch just to see it. Like, it's like genuinely, it's not the worst thing I have ever seen.
it's
It
very
like
nostalgic, but the bad nostalgia where you're like, there was a Daredevil movie starring uh the guy that played Batman. I forgot his name. I can't remember the second
Ben Affleck.
name. Ben Affleck, yeah.
Ben
It's
Affleck.
like that era of
Ben
superhero
Affleck.
movies.
Yeah.
That era, like we found this really edgy, dark character, and we just cramped out a movie, very Catwoman-y.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Like it's not vomit, throw up, or anything, but like it's not good at all. Like I think if done right, like Morbius is a cool character.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
he's a cool character for like the whole.
He's a cool Spider-Man villain. He's
Exactly.
a cool character that Tom Holland should be fighting and be like, man, I feel bad. This guy just wanted to help people, and now he's not vampire, because vampires are in the Marvel universe deep down. But like, as its own, like, I am the guy. Like, no wonder, like, the most people got out of this was someone went, it's Morbin time, and that's what
it is
people think
Morbin
of the
time.
movie, which is not a thing in the movie, just a thing someone made up.
But did they? Is it not really in the movie?
It's Morbin time. It's not in the movie.
Oh, that's
No,
upsetting.
it's
That's real
not a
upsetting.
comic book thing. It's not.
And it's worth it for Matt Smith's performance alone.
Oh,
That
that's what
is true.
kills me. It's Matt Smith.
Like,
just
he-
got stuck
he
in this
does-
movie.
He just
So
had fun.
I would recommend you watch one of those Morbius in a nutshells, because every fun dunkable part of the Morbius movie is in those like 5-10 minute supercuts, because everything else is just like, oh yeah, yep, this is what superhero movies used to be like in 2005, 2007, Ghost Rider, Constantine, like the worst.
Ooh, easy there, Turbo.
I've never seen Constantine, but the trailers did not make it look good.
Ooh, easy there,
Constantine
Turbo.
is
Constantine
probably
cool.
one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
I will check it
That's
out.
a cool movie.
You don't
It
gotta
really
push
is.
me too hard to see a Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
I gotta push Ruben really hard to see an Tom Hardy movie, though.
No, that's the thing. You don't. I watched the first two Venom movies. You don't have to push me that hard. I won't like it, but I'll still watch it. We do have some. I guess we are live streaming on Twitch. I didn't realize that.
Okay.
We do have somebody in the chat that said was talking about David Cornsweet. GZDR fee of GZDR. I'm just gonna shorten it. It says, "Do you see a problem with David Cornsweet at the current age 31 playing Superman? It could mean another reboot at 2-3 movies." Henry Cavill, he says here, was 21 when he got the role, but he later corrected it. He was 29, not 21.
Okay.
But he got one standalone movie, then got canned. Do we see?
No, I mean, I don't really see that as a problem. I mean, it's just this is the guy they got. Like, just get the guys that you have.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, if he's only 31, I mean,
which is crazy.
I would imagine, maybe get a movie or two.
Yeah.
I mean, which is fine. I mean, it's hard because we think about like Hugh Jackman being Wolverine for so long. We think about RDJ being Tony Stark for so long. Where it's like it's not going to top that.
Yeah.
I mean, those two guys were great, but yeah, if he's for two movies, he's for two movies. Just let's have a good Superman. I'm just worried about a good Superman movie.
Yeah.
Like, give us a good Superman. That's really what I'm worried about now.
It also depends on what they want to do with this universe over time. Like, I think the problem with I am not good at remembering actors' names. Henry Cavill had nothing to do with Henry Cavill. It was the slate of what DC wanted to do with the different other superhero movies and where they wanted to fit the Superman solo movies in between them. I think generally Batman v Superman was kind of a bad move to go straight into have our heroes fighting each other before the Justice League forms. Um, I think part of why they keep introducing like different snippets of heroes in this movie is to give you an idea that this new universe is not a new universe of superheroes, and Guy Gardner, like Green Lanterns have been around. There have been superpowered beings around. It's so I imagine Superman being newer. The idea isn't going to that he's always an unseasoned new Superman, and eventually we kind of get into an older feeling Superman, and like as we get through different movies and stuff.
Yeah,
Good point.
very good point. I forgot what I was gonna say.
You were going to talk about how handsome Tom Hardy is.
That's
yeah.
not what I was
You're
gonna
gonna
say. Oh,
No,
I did. Oh, go ahead.
no, I'm just BSing.
I
Keep
was
going.
going to say I wanted them to do what they did for Mysterio for Morbius, if that makes sense.
Oh, Morbius.
Like make
Yeah.
him an actually good character, not a joke. You know?
Well, I think like a lot of it you have to think could be just like, just every time Jared Leto's in a movie. It's
That's
just
another thing. Yeah.
you have to imagine what that was like. And it's just like from the get go,
For
I
sure.
think like as John said earlier, like these movies, like this was definitely they started making these at the time where everyone wanted one, okay, because the Marvel business was, printing money,
Yep.
printing money left and right. So obviously, I think Venom. I'm looking now. Venom came out in October 5th, 2018. Okay, so that was like the
Jesus.
same year as Infinity War. So I remember when it's like, hey, we were getting a Venom movie. Like, whoa, we're getting a Venom movie. Oh, what with no Spider-Man in it? Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Because I mean, Venom is arguably Spider-Man's most popular villain.
Yeah.
And so it made sense. It made sense to have a Venom movie. And again, I said this before. I said this in the chat the other day. That first Venom movie, I think, is I say this, with reverence for all the other ones, is the best one. Like I think it's the most solid out of all these. I mean, 6 movies that they have. And again, I haven't seen Madam Web, Last Dance, or Craven the Hunter, so I could just assume that that's still true. That the first Venom movie is probably the best one, even though it's not great. It's not really good, but the only thing that Let There Be Carnage got right is that it was 90 minutes long, so it was not long at all. Carnage looked like Carnage, acted like Carnage. Then yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those things where they realize, and then the reports came out the other day. I don't know if you saw it. They had the opportunity to put Spider-Man in these movies, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of stupid mistake is that?
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like everything that has gone wrong with, I don't know how, in any way, shape, or form, Madam Web was made. Like I don't know who greenlit that movie. And again,
Let's
I
find
haven't
out.
seen it. But I've
Like,
heard a lot of bad things.
I feel like the idea with Madam Web was to eventually open up into a Spider-Verse aspect to get some not Tom Holland Spider-Man's Spider Peoples in here. It just didn't come together, I guess, and just weird. I've only seen the first Venom and Morbius. I'm just here because I've been against this concept since the beginning. But from what I've heard about like Madam Web is it sets up like a what was it? The Birds of Prey concept for like the edgy Spider Women characters in the Spider-Verse concept. And
Which
then all of the costumes they have in the trailers for the movie are in like a single scene and they never actually
it's a
suit
dream
up
sequence,
Spider-Web.
John. It's a dream
Oh,
sequence.
amazing.
It,
And like I just feel like if Sony wanted to build their own superhero universe silly thing and they're frustrated because Tom Holland they don't want to ruin what he's doing in the MCU, the clear answer is 4 years before Venom came out, you have the Spider-Verse comic book series. And even if you're at this time, they were like, Spider-Verse, that animated thing they're doing, who gives a crap? Cartoons are for babies. I'm a Sony executive. I'm boring and I'm not imaginative. You could be like, hey, we could do this Miles Morales guy and then have our own alternate universe, Ultimate Spider-Man universe, call it that, do this stuff. Probably wouldn't have worked. We'd probably be very angry that like they were pulling out some other Spider-Mans from the Spider-Verse comics, but I think that would have made you would have lost less money doing that than pulling in Venom, which is cool, but people want to see Venom fight Superman or become friends with Superman. And then Carnage, like, yes, people want to see Venom and Carnage fight, but then no one cares about Morbius. No one cares about Madam Web. Kraven the Hunter, it should have been before Morbius, but I don't think he would have saved it if they made a Kraven movie before Morbius. But like, he's an easier sell, but by the time you've got 3 of these villain movies, different villains out, you're like, I don't want to see Kraven because I heard about Morbius and Madam Web, and those weren't worth it, so I'm not going to see this lion hunter guy who's actually friends with animals. We're going to stretch it out for some reason.
The thing for me is, like, you had the first Venom movie, you could have easily just made a reference to a different Spider-Man character. Like, well, let me rephrase. A different Spider-Man. Let's take, for example, Peter B. Parker. We could have hired any Joe Schmo to play Peter B. Parker in the live-action universe. Because it doesn't matter, because he's not, like, the MCU Peter Parker. Like, it just doesn't... I don't know. It would have made so much more sense if Madam Web had a Peter Parker in this goddamn movie. It would have made sense for all of them to have a Peter Parker in these movies. But for I truly don't know who decided to greenlight it, and I think I hate to say it. Well, I don't really hate to say it. Amy Pascal has been a person that I've had ill feelings towards because of the whole Spider-Man, Sony owning Spider-Man characters. But she was doing fantastic with, the Spider-Verse movies. She was doing her own production on the Spider-Verse movies. She could have done something fantastic with the Sony Spider-Man Universe. And I guess she just realized how bad it was and just decided to not even get anywhere close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like, if she doesn't want to touch it, why should we continue touching this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, I don't know.
I wasn't as deep on the Amy Pascal situation, so I'm realizing that she's only been involved in the Venom movies. And they seem to be the least annoying of the what if Spider-Man villains with no Spider-Man verse.
Yeah.
So.
I do want to give a shout out to Screen Rant that has a very important question, article up. And it says, the end of Sony Spider-Man Universe makes a 7-year-old villain tease look finally possible for the MCU. And it basically asks the question, where is Michael Keaton's Ultron?
We last saw him in Morbius, Ruben.
So is he just out in the Sony Spider-Man universe? Is this it?
At the end of the thing, he goes through a portal or something. I forget what it was. Yeah, he goes through a portal, and he winds up in the Morbius land. And he looks at Morbius and it's like, hey, I don't know how I got here. Probably Spider-Man's fault. We're looking to set up a group of guys who can do some stuff for UN. So it's like supposed to be like a Sinister Six setup.
That's what it blows my mind the most, that this was a Sinister Six setup with no Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like this. Go ahead, John.
I don't know if like the idea was, well, let's start at Venom, and then Venom made a buttload of money, and they were like, surely we can get 5 more of villains out of this and kind of bully the MCU to be like, all right, we'll make a Sinister Six movie with these Venoms, and then they were like, well, so we got Venom, so the next part of our Sinister Six should be Morbius. That's what people want to see Tom Holland fight, is Venom, Morbius, Madam Web, and Craven, and then they couldn't come up with the last two before they realized they can't make money out of this idea.
Well, don't forget Vulture.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot Vulture.
Yeah, he's the main
And
component.
talking about it, I already forgot about
He's
the
the main
first
component.
MCU Spider-Man villain being involved.
Oh man, I don't know. I am glad it's finally over. I am.
Yeah, it just wasn't like kudos to them for trying because the first two Venom movies
No
actually
kudos
made
for
money.
them to trying.
Like they tried. I mean, a lot of people. Okay, all right. I know you don't like him, Ruben. I know you don't like him. Relax. A lot of people got work from this.
This is true.
Okay?
This is true. This is true.
A lot of people got work from it, and like the first two movies did make and a good amount. And the last Venom movie was very profitable. It looks like.
Which is
So I mean,
Funny,
insanity.
I forgot it came out this year.
it's weird. I forgot Madam Web, this Venom movie, and Craven all came out in a year.
This year.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
So it's one of those things where I mean Venom was going to make money because it's Venom.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Venom is one of the most popular comic book characters. No one cares about Morbius really, unless you watch the '90s animated cartoon,
Which I did.
which was a good two-parter,
Yeah.
really good two-parter.
Really.
No one cares about Madam Web unless you watched the Spider-Man cartoon.
I just
or
care about
played
Madam.
Shattered Dimensions.
I just care about the one line from Madam Web, which is
Was the one like she like worked with spiders or something?
Yeah, and he was there with my mother before she died in the Amazon rainforest, or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah, no,
And then
I remember now.
and then Craven's awesome. It's just like this is
Yeah.
I assume the Craven movie was just like, let's go back in time and make a movie from like 2003 and put it right here. I assume.
Yeah, so
But
the Craven movie kind of reminds me of the movie that nobody talks about, which is Wolverine Origins.
I talk about
I
the
mean,
video game.
the
Not
video
the-
game's really good. The movie is not like the movie is probably better than Morbius.
No,
The
I totally agree. What I'm saying is just like nobody really liked that movie because of what they did to Deadpool, and I think nobody really wants to watch this movie because, like, from what I've heard, this movie just doesn't
Just
really.
see what Rhino looks like. It's
I
insane.
haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
look up a picture of what they make Rhino look like, and then here, because I'll probably see the movie. Because I saw on the social media what the post credit scene is, and apparently it's just
Crazy.
the chameleon shows up.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
from what I've heard,
yeah.
the chameleon is his brother.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
okay.
Comic books are funny.
Which is interesting because if you look at it, like how these movies show
my
these
God.
villains, and how it's not good.
It's just a man with a horn.
Yeah, and it just shows how awesome Insomniac was at making Craven and Venom. Like those two
Yeah.
interpretations of those characters are insanely good,
Yes.
and it's just like you have all this money, all this studio money,
Mhm.
and it's just like this is why, let creative people make this stuff. Don't just put
Yeah.
this in a boardroom and like, oh, we got to do this. Let's make this. This would be a good idea. So I think things are shifting that way now. Hopefully more creatives because. Well, I mean, let's be real. I mean, the MCU doesn't have the knockout punch it used to.
Mhm.
Like they got to be a little bit more selective and all that stuff. Hopefully, we vamp back up with Fantastic Four next year. Hopefully, Captain America's good. And what's the Thunderbolts? The Thunderbolts is the other one next year.
Which I'm hoping is just going to be a fun time.
Yeah,
You know
and
what's
it's just
funny about the Thunderbolts?
What?
That's Marvel's villain universe team up.
Mhm.
Like they got their own Sinister Six, like just by having movies where they have villains in them, and then just kind of sliding them together into a group. Like, I think that's really funny that they're managing to figure that out before Venom ever got their thing together. And it's not by just being like, what if we gave an entire movie to the evil Captain America and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I
I guess it was Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but
yeah, for like a hot second,
yeah.
maybe 24 hours, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he killed somebody.
Yeah.
And then he killed an innocent bystander. And
yeah.
the world turned on.
Yeah.
I am interested to see if Sony decides to, go back to the drawing board, and if we get, I am, I don't know how to put this. I guess I'm interested to see if they decide to bring back Andrew Garfield and
For
have him
Secret Wars, probably.
Yeah, but I'm saying like have him do like
Oh, for a
his
Spider-Man movie?
yeah, have
No
him
shot.
no shot. You think so?
No shot.
Yeah,
No shot. I think he's done with that part of his life. I do think he'll be in
think he's
Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I do think he'll be in Secret Wars, but I don't think he's going to want to probably do, because that'll be Sony, and I imagine he probably wants to be more with like Marvel, where it's like, okay, all right, you write the story for me.
There's also a funny like supercut of interviews of the villain Spider-Verse thing, and actors and actresses definitely thinking they're signing up for a Marvel Cinematic
Yep.
and MCU movie. Be like, I'm so excited to be part of the MCU and work with and possibly get a chance to work with Chris Evans
Yep.
or like the big Chris Hemsworth, the big like MCU characters, and they're like, oh no, no one's told them that they're in a different thing.
The interviewer for the junket tells them like, "Oh no, I'm sorry to tell you this. This isn't the same universe." And
Yeah.
their face is like, "Oh fuck."
Yep, every time it's
Real good.
frustrating.
Very frustrating.
It's wow. I'm looking at it. Like next year, there's gonna be 3 movies. The freaking listen to these 2 weeks that we will have next year. So Superman comes out July 11th. Fantastic Four comes out July 25th. That is going to be a nice 2 weeks right there.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a
Also,
very
that's gonna be such in a positive way, like a whiplash effect, because you have Superman coming out, which is like, what if the idealism of the like 1950s, the like let's believe in each other and like be good to each other, is like so genuine and sincere, and then after that, you're gonna have the Fantastic Four that's like, oh yeah, we're the happy-go-lucky 1960s family, but do you know what families were like in the 1960s? Like behind closed doors, you're gonna have that like real whiplash effect between those movies.
We'll see.
But
I honestly think they'll probably move Fantastic Four.
I don't know. They wrapped up filming like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know.
I feel as though that's pretty locked in.
All right. Well,
And it'd be good to have like an actual like DC Marvel competition.
yeah, that would
It
be
would
fun.
be. It would be.
Like it'd be good. Like I think the only other time there was any competition whatsoever was they've never released a movie so close to one another.
No, they usually. Well, DC usually.
I think the closest was beat Batman vs Superman in Civil War.
Yeah.
And that was mostly just you knew Civil War was coming out while you were watching Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Back in 2016 when we all fought each other.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing. But no, I think like just going into stuff right now, I think like just the state of superhero movies has definitely changed from and you can just look at the ebb and flow of all like the different eras of superhero films. Like you got the 70s, like so you had a bunch of like, the TV shows and the cartoons in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s. In the 70s you had the first Superman movie. And so in the 70s you had that, and then the 80s you had some comic book movies, but it wasn't until like 1989's Batman where it was like, okay, all right, there you go now. And then the 90s we went through, you had the X-Men X-Men was 2000. In the 90s you just had the 2 Schumacher Batman movies. Yeah. I think those were the biggest ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, in the 2000s, that's when it really started, ramping up. You had X-Men, you had Spider-Man, you had Batman Begins, you had Iron Man, and then the 2010s. That's like that's the decade of Marvel right there.
Yep.
That's where it's like that was MCU was all over the place, and then DC didn't have the last DC movie before that was they had Dark Knight Rises,
Yeah.
and then like the next year after was Man of Steel because I think that was it was 2013, so it's about 5 years after the MCU started. So like, oh, we want that too for DC,
Yep.
and so they didn't really have a plan
No.
for the DC movies. No, they had some. They had like I thought the first Wonder Woman movie is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
I
thought the
was
first Aquaman. I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
that's exactly what I was about to say. I was surprisingly into the first Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
The first Aquaman movie was fine. Like Man of Steel was good, and Batman vs Superman very divisive. Like I like Batman vs Superman, but obviously not everyone does.
I mean, it's
And then
a
you
good
had
movie.
Suicide Squad, and then
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, which was not bad.
Yeah, I was surprisingly into Birds of Prey as well. Like for what it is, which is give Harley Quinn kind of her own movie and try to introduce some femme fatale DC characters. I was into seeing, I forgot her name. I think she was the Huntress, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character.
Yep.
Yep.
I was excited to see a movie of her eventually, and now we won't get it.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that.
And then
Although, I can imagine James Gunn going a left turn and just being like, Huntress movie. I wanted to work with Mary
I mean, he
Elizabeth
started
Winstead.
the new universe with Creature Commandos. I wouldn't put it
Yeah.
past him to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like now that when the pandemic was over, Marvel came back, and so then they learned real quick that the pandemic was fine for like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, but when you start putting out all those Disney Plus shows, like people are like, okay, I'm starting to get a little fatigued right here. And so then the MCU, you never thought they would take some shots on the chin. They did.
I think it was more fatigue due to the fact that the shows were very like anticlimactic.
They were just the movie split up into 6 episodes, really.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to make a good TV show,
which is weird.
Well, the other thing is the MCU, like if you squint, it is a TV show where you have 2 or 3 episodes a year, so it's really easy to keep up on because you only have 3 or 4 times where you have to check into the MCU as a show. When you start doing 8-hour blocks of different characters and you're releasing those almost as often as your 3-4 movies a year, it becomes a lot more of a time investment to get to keep up and stay invested. So around Moon Knight, I haven't been able to keep up with the TV shows, so I haven't seen Loki season 2. I never got around to watching Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is awesome.
That's what people keep telling me. I need to. I do want to give that a chance.
I would wait for closer to Daredevil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's just. Oh, I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. You're good.
And then, like I said, like they really took one on the chin, with the Marvels. Like that one, I forget how much money that one lost. They lost on that. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on.
I forgot that came out.
Yeah.
And I'm a I don't want to say Captain Marvel enjoyer, but I was really into what they were doing with Ms. Marvel. That's another show that I haven't watched, but I really want to.
You should. It's really good.
So,
the potential budget for the Marvels was $375 million.
Yeah. Because that was that was going to be the movie that like changed the MCU.
And so like 206 million was its worldwide box office. And it was just, and then luckily they kind of turn it around and deliver one of the highest grossing movies ever. And so I think that the formula they found, I think just going back to, okay, let's just do a few movies a year.
Yeah.
Let's maybe do 1 or 2 TV shows. Because I mean, I'm looking like, I love how we went from, let's talk, this is the perfect encapsulation of how the Sony thing was. We're done talking about it. It's over.
Yep.
We're over. We're back on this right here. Let me look at Phase 5 television series. All right, so we just finished Agatha. So the next TV show it looks like is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which that's the Just the animated one. That's just one. That's just gonna be a fun show.
No, the next one is What If.
Okay, so like, all right, yeah, you're right. What If starts tomorrow.
Oh my God, What If starts tomorrow?
I haven't even seen season 2.
You're
So
not
it's just
missing
one of those.
anything.
This is the last one apparently they're doing. So it's just one of those things where the next show is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then you get the big one. You get Daredevil. So I mean, like, I think they realized like let's scale back on the TV shows and let's start focusing on the movies again. And I think they can hopefully get their footing back because I think everyone's gonna be ready for Doomsday, like Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I genuinely wonder how the MCU is gonna look after that. Like, what can you do after Secret Wars?
That's
I think
I don't even know.
It's just after Secret Wars. What do you do?
I think you just reboot
you
it.
have X-Men, you have the X-Men movies, and you just like maybe put out maybe one or two. Let's see, they print. It's just other than a few, they print money.
I think that's when you just like completely reboot everything, like right after Secret Wars.
And I think what you do is you use a Secret Wars. I'm assuming it's going to have multiverse shit.
Yep.
Not in a negative way, but what you can do is use that to go, okay, Miles Morales is your new Spider-Man. And like, I'm assuming there's similar characters with like Jane Foster is like your real Thor, and like you permanently make that like the core of your Avengers and solo movies and pull out characters like that, because apparently the experiment with Falcon and the Winter Soldier is that for whatever reason movie audiences are boring and unimaginative and don't like it when you pass the baton. So instead we are going to pull a Transformers and just use Mjolnir to just beat the crap out of everyone that has stuck around a little too long and get your new costume handovers that way by just time multiverse shenanigans or straight up deaths or whatever. But
if you could believe it, we were supposed to get I want to say it was a TV show of Captain America and Peggy Carter, like after Cap went back in time. And then they just decided nobody really wants to see that, and we don't think. I personally think
you don't need to. You don't need it.
No, we don't need it, but it would have been cool to watch.
Because like part of my brain really does want to see Chris Evans hanging out with Peggy Carter.
Yeah,
I know that's not the actress's name. I'm bad with actors, as I've
Haley Atwell.
Yes, but that is a movie I would like to see, and maybe not 8 hours of TV show that I would like to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess we have one last thing to do. Do we have any final thoughts before we close out the show?
I have some final thoughts.
Go for it.
I'll tell you what, ever since, school let out for break, I have time to watch movies now, Ruben. I know it's shocking. Let me tell you what. It's nice. It's nice because I've made some professional choices where I now have time to do things.
That's good.
I watched the other night both Smile movies, and let me tell you, not bad. Now, the first Smile movie was like, okay, it's all right. It's okay. But Smile 2, watch Smile 2.
I hate
Smile
those
2. Smile 2 is good.
Okay.
I know the Academy doesn't really like horror movies, but Naomi Scott deserves her flowers. She does a good job in that movie. Like it's pretty cool. What they do. And yesterday I brought Ruby to the movies for the first time. Her first movie going experience. That was fun. I kind of teared up in the beginning because they show like the Disney crawl and stuff, and she's sitting there, she's just like watching the screen. She didn't complain about loud noises. Now, have you ever seen the the Bluey episode where they go to the movies, Ruben?
No, not a
you should.
Big Bluey.
It's exactly like it went. She spilt a thing of popcorn. I had to get a new popcorn. She ran all over the theater during the movie. She was like, "Oh, what's that? What's that?" Like, and I'm like, everyone, I'm like, first time. Saw Moana 2. Forgettable movie. Glad it exists. Glad it exists. Making a lot of money right now, but very forgettable. Very
Yeah.
forgettable. You could definitely tell it was meant to be a TV show.
Yep.
Yeah.
But hey, they were like, all right, the first one made a lot of money. It's always in the top charts of streamed movies throughout the year. Let's go ahead and make that a movie. And it was the right choice. They're almost at what, like $850 million right now on that movie?
Really?
Yeah.
As someone who rented many a Disney sequel growing up, it is not the worst Disney sequel I've ever seen.
It's not.
Not
Like
even
it's just
Huh.
it's not needed. It really isn't. The point is there's
definitely
no
agree.
point.
Oh, one of those movies.
But I like the Moana character.
Mhm.
The Rock doesn't make Maui uncomfortable to watch, so I was pretty into it. Like, I did not feel like wish that I saw a different movie when I saw it. I'll say that.
Yeah. Now, granted, some of the times I watched, I was worried about Ruby running up and down the stairs, so I didn't see some parts. But I mean, it's a pretty movie. It's not really needed. There's no point to it. But glad kids can go watch it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Trying to think what the next movie I'm gonna watch is.
You're not watching Mufasa?
So I have to figure out when I'm going to go see that because I'm going to be a weeping mess. I know that movie is not going to be needed at all.
Yeah. I feel
This
like I'm the
movie
same
is
way.
not going to be. That's been my big thing with I don't need this movie. This movie does not need to exist. I'm going to be a weeping mess watching it.
Yep.
Because I know there's going to be some moment if they're going to have maybe one line by James Earl Jones in it, or they're going to have like a memorial for James Earl Jones in it, and I'm gonna cry a lot because every time the trailer comes on, they play the single greatest piece of score music ever created.
Yep.
It's "This Land"
Yep.
by Hans Zimmer. Every time. So here's the thing with me with Lion King. Obviously, that was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and so every time Circle of Life comes on, I cry within 15 seconds.
Yep.
Every time, and then whenever This Land comes on, no matter what rendition, it's just I start weeping.
Okay.
Tessa even started playing it in the car one day. It's like, oh, what's your thoughts about this song? I just look at her. I'm like, thank you, and I start crying because it's just so good. But I'm gonna see it. Obviously, I'm gonna be like, who are these white lions? Why are they even here? Do we even really need them? But I hear reviews that it's actually a very solid movie.
Oh, that's good.
I hear the reviews that it's not barn buster or anything. It's a solid movie.
Okay.
Let's look at it right now. Now, I know everyone's going for the downfall of Disney right now.
I
Which
saw this trailer,
and I'm gonna bring that up when it's my turn for final thoughts because my final thoughts are gonna be a little intense, but you'll get what I'm saying when I get to the end of it.
Okay.
So it looks like Sonic is going to win the weekend, which I know a lot of people are excited about.
Yeah.
A lot of people are excited about Sonic winning because they're tired of Disney stuff, which I understand. I know Disney doesn't do a lot of good things. As a Disney fanatic, they don't do a lot of good things. They had to realize this was not a good idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. Oh, that's what it was. I need to rewatch the Batman so I can start watching the Penguin.
Oh,
I'm in that situation as well.
You guys
Well,
are
I've
gonna
been waiting.
love the Penguin.
I've been waiting for Tessa to watch the Batman. She still hasn't seen the Batman, so we did the Lord of the Rings extended editions because I never saw the Return of the King extended edition before.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are you joking? Are you joking?
Ruben has bad opinions on certain things.
Ruben, you have bad opinions. Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
It's just boring movies, I'd rather just watch The Hobbit.
They did.
I'd be
lying.
Every viewing of the extended edition, I don't doze off for a couple minutes in the middle of each movie, but just a little bit.
Because
it's
just
insane.
a little.
Y'all are insane. Either way,
and calming.
Either way, the next thing is for us to finish the Batmans because I'm ready to watch the Penguin.
Okay. I hope you enjoy the Penguin.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll hear a lot. Hey, forget I'm walking here.
Unfortunately, you don't because this is in New York.
Well, he says it's Gotham. What, sweetheart? Hey.
John, any final thoughts?
I'd like to thank Disney and Marvel for just kind of this gradual dip in quality and belovedness of the MCU, because that was the only way we were going to get a re-release of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and we finally got it. Like, you can get it. It is still in stores now, digital shops, wherever you go. We got just a way to play Marvel vs. Capcom 1, 2, X-Men superheroes, all of the Marvel Capcom crossover Capcom developed Marvel games. So that was never going to happen because they were having like so much issues with Disney when they were developing MVC Infinite, because Disney was like, well, you can't show Marvel characters losing or getting comboed in gameplay videos, and they were really aggressive. And then on
Really?
top of that, yeah, they
Huh.
were. The marketing was like, you cannot make people think that Captain America is less good than um
Chris Redfield.
yeah, or someone like that, like Capcom characters. They were like, they cannot
Nice.
die in our gameplay videos. So
Hmm.
every time a Capcom character is being shown off and doing a combo, it's on another Capcom character. And whenever they're showing off a Marvel character, he can do whatever he wants to Chun-Li or Ryu or Mega Man or Zero, because Disney was like, no, we can't let players think that the Marvel characters aren't OP and bad. So
Like the Rock contract where he can't lose a fight in a movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
unfortunate.
Um, and then on top of that, we got Marvel Rivals, which is a solid Overwatch competitor game. Emily and I have been having so much fun with Marvel Rivals. It is a 100% free multiplayer game that I've spent like $10 on, but I've spent like we have been like since it came out like about a month ago, we put in like 40 hours over the weekends together. It's a genuinely fun video game, and it feels like they were just make an Overwatch clone with Marvel characters, do whatever you want with them. Some of them are like exactly what you'd expect from like Iron Man and Captain America. Some of them like Wolverine and Adam Warlock have like more of a twist to them. Or in Adam Warlock's case, he's like classic comics Warlock, which is nothing like the movies. And it's just a really good time, and I really like how they're not afraid to lean into being like melee characters. Like Hulk has one projectile attack. He can't use it super often. Your job as the Hulk is to get in there and start throwing hands. Spider-Man is super hard to use because his web shots only like slow enemies down, and you're just trying to stick someone down, web sling right into their face and just like punch them to death and then just get out of there. They do a good job of making every hero feel unique and part of a team, and no one can like carry the entire team. So I hope the MCU gets better, but it's weird how the less popular the MCU is, the more elevated like cartoons and video games can be. Like they get a lot more creative freedom to be weird and lean into the like less more niche parts of the Marvel universe.
I feel like it's almost a testing bed for them with the lower
Hmm.
stuff for them to go as crazy as they
Yeah.
want. And then when they realize that people are going ape shit
Yep.
for stuff, that's when they're like, okay, we're gonna do that, but in
Well,
live action.
we can finally get a live action Squirrel Girl. I've
Yeah,
been saying it for years. The biggest bummer I've had with every Marvel crossover game is like I just want a Squirrel Girl in a thing as a joke, just a funny little Squirrel Girl throwing nuts at people. And Marvel Rivals was the first. The Lego games put Squirrel Girl in there, but they put everyone in there.
yeah.
But this is the first like big thing to just be like, yeah, we need a squirrel doing squirrel things.
Um. Okay. All right. I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. Huh. I would like to talk about two things. One, if you aren't watching Silo on Apple TV Plus, watch that shit. It's fantastic. Season 2 is happening right now and it's going crazy. I can't wait for every Friday. And two, there was something else I was gonna bring up that I completely forgot.
Was it about Sony's villain universe
No,
stuff?
thank God. It was more
Like
of,
that was our topic of the show, and we just completely like that is
I
just
mean, like, there's
encapsulates how perfect
it
and what
was,
that thing was. Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is, you know. Um, oh my God, I I don't know what it was. I guess I don't know. This is a real shame. Uh,
I'm looking forward to movies, Spider-Man's.
yeah,
Mm.
I would
I know there was that Spider-Verse delay. They can take all the time they want,
yeah.
treat their animators well, write up a good conclusion. I'm a little disappointed that they went into Beyond the Spider-Verse without having a good idea of what they wanted to do for part 3, but I love the animation of the Spider-Verse movies and all the different spider twists they got.
Yeah, I'll wait for it. I'd rather they not rush the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, I wanted to do a Sonic 3 review, but one, this is probably like the worst time it could have come out, and two, I just don't want to bother anybody during the holidays. Plus, Christmas is on Wednesday, guys. This fucking sucks.
Such a weird
Really
time.
sucks. Really sucks.
It's almost like it's on one of the 7 days of the week every
Yeah.
year.
I like the predictability of Thanksgiving always being on a Thursday.
Yeah.
What's the best day for Christmas? What day of the week?
Best day
Let's
for
have a
Christmas?
little
Thursday.
best day for Christmas. Ooh, Thursday. See, I'm a real big fan of the Christmas Monday.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm a big fan of the Christmas Monday, Christmas Eve night.
Uh-huh.
You got football games, and then once you're done with the football games, you can start watching Christmas Story, the
Of course.
24-hour marathon.
Of course.
And it's just
Yep.
like I'm a big fan of the Sunday Monday,
The
Christmas
problem
Eve, Christmas.
The problem for me is regular people have to go back to work, Eric. Like, I know you have off.
Hey, it's statistically proven that teachers have to make more minute-to-minute decisions than neurosurgeons, Ruben. So I am
Listen, I
owed
am
this.
I am not saying that you're not owed this, okay? I'm just saying regular people have to go back to work. So,
I
like, the days, like having it on a
And
Monday kind of sucks.
yeah. Well, because the tactical thing about a Thursday Christmas day is it's very easy for employers to be like, but people are
we
gonna
don't
want to
Everybody's going to call out.
go to work on Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
so we might as well give them Christmas Eve off. And then people are gonna be really annoying if we make them come into work the day
Yeah.
after Christmas on a Friday. So we might as well give them Christmas Eve Wednesday, Christmas Day Friday, Thursday,
I don't know
and
about all
Friday
that.
off, so they're just like chill about it.
I feel like
And then you get to do it again
I
because
mean,
New Year's Eve is a week after Christmas.
Yeah.
You get that all over again the next Thursday.
I've had to work Thanksgivings and Christmas when I was at the casino, so I know what it's like to have to work those days. So like right now, I'm very much enjoying the fact that I get I get this. But
Good.
yeah, I completely understand. That's why I think Sunday night, Monday. Least favorite one. Least favorite one is a Friday to Saturday, Christmas Eve, Christmas.
Yeah, because like,
Don't
Just
like
like
a Saturday Christmas.
I could have had this as a day off, and now
yeah,
I'm sad
it's
to
just
another Saturday
yeah,
with the treat.
Yeah.
really sucks. With that being said, I guess it's time to say goodnight or say goodbye, say good day,
Mhm.
say so long, farewell.
Avi to say goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
I wish I could say Tom Hardy, keep doing what you're doing, but you're the reason why we're in this
He's a great
situation.
actor. He's a great
He's really a
actor.
bad
As much
actor.
as
He's
good
really a
actor
bad
can
actor.
You
be,
have never seen Warrior Man, and it
I don't
shows.
need to. I've seen everything else that he's in, and it's just horrible, He just doesn't. I said it in the group chat the other day. If I see him in the streets, I'm going to tell him to just quit his day job. It's really bad. It's really bad.
How did you know I was a barista?
With that being said, have a good one. Take it easy.
Whoa, you're not gonna do plugs, Ruben.
Oh,
Whoa.
you're right. Well, it's been so long, Eric.
It's been so long.
It has been so long. Gentlemen, what are we plugging? John, let's go with you.
I am at Noisy Shark on Twitter and at noisyshark.bsky.whatever, however
Social.
Blue Sky works.
Mm-hmm.
That's social, I think it is. So, Noisy Shark spelled with a Z in the noisy part, all one word.
Okay. Oh, and I appreciate you calling it Twitter, not X.
Oh yeah. Until I type in twitter.com and it
And it
says I
doesn't
don't know
work.
what this website is,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep typing Twitter into my browser.
But even then, like especially now, we should just keep calling
Yeah.
it Twitter because it bothers him.
Yeah,
Exactly. Eric, or can both.
Well, I would use this to promote Twitter, but you know what? I rarely get on that hell site anymore. It's like, have you seen it now? Like, it's awful now. Like it's their ads rampant. There's just so much like
on the app
far
you get
right
like a
stuff
4-foot
pushed.
ad for grok.ai and I was like, I
Yeah.
don't literally know
So
how
yeah,
to use an AI product,
But John,
and
it's
I
free
don't
now.
want to change that.
Free now.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
I will promote my Blue Sky, which is ericsegan.bsky.social. That is where I spend majority of my time now.
Oh, good. I do have some bad news for you, Eric, but you know what? I'll save that for the new year.
Whoa! What? Oh, what bad news?
We'll save it for the new year. It's fine.
No! You can't have it
This
in
is
like
what a
that.
boss says when you come in
No!
January 1st and they're like,
Just
hey,
do it now.
pack your
Say it with your
things, you're
chest. Say
fired.
it with your chest. Let's
We'll
go.
save it for the new
Say it
year.
with your
We'll
say
save
it
it.
with your
We'll
chest.
save it for the
Hold
new
on.
year.
Hold on. Let
I'd
me
like
check something
to.
real quick. Hold on. Let me check.
I'd
You
like
can do
to.
your.
I'd like to plug the channel. I know it's been a rough year for content, but I think we've been doing pretty good. You know, I would like to continue, to do it on a weekly basis. But hey, I know everybody has busy lives, and that's fine. So, with that being said, thank you, everybody.
You son of a bitch! I see what you're talking about now. How did that happen?
I don't know how it happened, but
How
I'm
did
glad
that
it
happen?
happened.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
What the
It's crazy.
fuck?
It's
What the
crazy.
fuck?
It's
That's because
crazy.
freaking, I don't know what it is about Life is Strange, just kept going down in points.
Oh, it's because it's a Life is Strange game. Yeah.
It was 3, then it was 2, now it's 1. This is, you know what? I'm not gonna object it. This is.
I mean,
This
you
is
can't
how the thing
object it.
went.
It's not like I did anything to tamper this.
So
You
I
probably
forgot
did.
to vote. Is it too
You
late?
prob-
Are the polls closed?
The polls are closed, unfortunately. The polls are
Okay.
closed.
Next year, when we get back to next year, we're making we're sweetening the pot next year. We're gonna get back to the loser has to buy stuff.
Oh, is this
This is the fantasy
Fantasy
critic.
critic.
Yeah.
okay?
We
I
did
thought this
we
was
did it the
Jody's.
first year.
No,
Yeah.
we're still doing it. That was what we all agreed on for this year as well.
Was it for this year as well?
I believe so. We could check the records.
No, I don't think we ever agreed to. I know the first year we did, but next year I think the loser has to buy everybody a copy of the game.
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Game of the
That's a
year.
lot of money.
Whoa, the contract is for you have up to a full year to buy them
Okay. All
a
right.
game of their choice.
Right.
A full contract year to buy them a game, because I think 2025 is a big year with a bunch of big titles.
Yeah.
So we got to make this pot sweet.
Yeah. All I know is my reign of tyranny will never come to
That's
an
what
end.
it is. It's tyranny. That's what it is. Someone needs to step up to your tyrannical ass.
I mean, it's not my fault I picked very good games to win. Anyway, we're going
Very
too long
good
on this.
games.
Yeah, to win.
Either way.
All right, I'm gonna just stop recording. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. The child is awake from her nap, so I am going to go. So,
I hear her.
Toodles.
Toodles.
That's a cat.
Oh, it sounded like her.
Emily was asking me to get something for her, so I have to hop on.
Yeah, that's fine. See you, John.
It was fun hanging out, though.
Yes, likewise.
Bye-bye.
Bye.